Guys, let's talk about creating your life and how to do it. Now, when you look at successful people, or when you look at people who are maybe just not miserable, maybe people who are happy with their lives, who have said that this is how they wanted their life to go, this is their dream job, this is the position that they've always wanted to be in life, they're financially where they wanted to be, what have you, right? They always had a plan for their life, and this is how you create your life. You need to have a plan or a goal that you are working towards. You pick a dream, you pick a goal, and you start building the process to get there. And what I mean by that is, if you want a certain job, or if you want a certain title, or you want a certain pay, you have to then reverse engineer how to get there. If you want to become CEO of a company one day, first off and foremost, one of the things that you can do is just get any job within that company. And then once you're in there, you can start working your way up through the avenue that you think will give you the most potential to reach the CEO position. If you go and ask the CEO and say, how do I get to become CEO one day? What was your path to get here? And you look at Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He started with an internship in the company, and then he worked his way up to be a teller, and then a relationship banker, and then all of a sudden he was a loan officer, and then all of a sudden this, and he moved up, and he was a bank manager and a regional manager, and then he's all the way up as CEO. These are the way that people get there. You have to have a goal, you have to have a dream, and then you need to reverse engineer how to get there. For example, if your life, you are looking to have some set number of dollars in the bank, you need to define a timeline on when you want to get there, because time does play an important factor into all of it. And then you need to reverse engineer the entire process from the age that you want to be and the dollar amount that you want to have. You need to know how much to set aside each month, how much to set aside each year, how much to set aside per pay period in order for you to have X amount by the time that you want to have it. And this is how you create your dream life. Now, I always wanted to be self-employed, just to bring it back to an example of myself. I always wanted to be self-employed. I always wanted to own my own business. I did not want to go to somebody else's place of business to work. I just want to enjoy the work that I do, enjoy the people that I work around. And the only way that I figured out that I could do that is if I controlled the entire scenario. I got to control the business so that I can control the hiring, so that I can control what we do. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I reverse engineered it into, how the heck do I start a business? What needs to be true for me to own a business where I can then dictate what we do and who comes in here and who I work with, and everything that comes in to owning and running a business. And at a baseline, it was, I need a product or service that I can offer. And then I had to decide on that. And then it was, holy cow, I need to know how to sell this and sell in general. I went and got a sales job first and foremost. I learned how to market at the same time. I have been doing marketing ever since I was younger than I can remember. Not younger than I can remember, but 12, 13, 14, marketing, right? And all the way up through 20. And then I got into sales right around 21, 22 years old. And I learned how to sell based off a relationship and calling people up and just speaking with them as a person. Business to business sales. Even if it was B2C, I would sell higher ticket items if it was B2C. It needs to be B2B for me. I knew that it needed to be B2B. I knew I needed a product or service to sell. And then I went and learned how to sell. And then after that, I tried a bunch of different industries, because sales is a transferable skill. And then I just had to decide on what the actual product or service was going to be still, because I had tried a few things and I had failed at a few things. And I had some successes along the way that showed me that I could do it. But in totality, it wasn't anything that would get me pushed out to be self-employed forever. Product or service to sell, learn how to sell. And now I got to be back to product or service to sell, because I've had some failures and trials and tribulations. Once I tested out a few different industries, I found one that I really enjoyed, that it felt every day was a little bit different, and that it was perfect for me in how you could speak to people, how you could dress, where you had to be, how you had to do it, how you had to behave, how you had to speak and communicate with customers and the vendors. And once I found that, it was pretty easy from there to decide I can go do this on my own. Once you have the skills and then the knowledge to offer the product and the service that you're trying to offer, and you have the skills to go out and attain that and then to deliver on it, the world is endless. Once you decide on the product or service and you already have the skills built into it and you have the knowledge on how to do something, you can then go and do it for yourself and create the life that you want. Now, I am doing exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life, and it will only become bigger and better. I, if you come back to watch more videos of me in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I am going to be doing the same things that I am doing now, only bigger and better. And that is how you create the life that you want, guys. You start with an end goal, and then you do first things first. If you have never read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, you need to. They are very proactive. They start with the end in mind. They put first things first, and then they attack the day and the tasks that they need to do today to make sure that tomorrow is closer to that goal, and that a year from now is closer to that goal, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. And then you just scale the goal. You just repeat the process over and over again. And that is how you plan your life and get the life that you plan for. Take care, guys.